projects in the background. I mean, we took pictures in front yards. We took pictures with our parents. We took pictures in the limo, out of the limo, at the prom, after the prom, at the club, after the club, at the McDonald's where we got our, don't judge me on that, we were hungry. And after the McDonald's during the cruise on the Hudson, watching the sun come up. But as the night went on, we took less and less pictures. This is because of two things. Number one, there were no camera phones and digital pictures. So with a digital camera or with a camera phone, you can take as many pictures as you want and erase the ones you don't want and just do it again. Most of us had disposable cameras that only had about 27 shots or so. So you made sure that the pictures were worth it. Most of the shots that were worth it happened to be closer to the beginning of the night when we were all posing, looking the way we wanted to look. Number two, as the night goes on and people start sweating and getting tired, the pictures start showing you in a way that you may not want to be seen. By the end of the night, makeup was messed up, hair was sweating out, dresses weren't as freshly pressed as they were earlier, and if you tried to get a pic of you and your date, normally she stopped you right away. If she even saw a camera, she used her cat-like reflexes to duck and hide as quick as possible. She would rather be in a picture like this than to take one not looking as good as she wanted to look. And you all know what that's like because most of y'all still do it. Some of you right now, if I pulled out a camera, all of a sudden would turn into a black ops spy, duck down and vanish from the sanctuary because we don't like when people take pictures of us when we're not ready. Even now with digital cameras, many of us say, let me see the picture. Oh, okay, that's good. We have to check. I have a young goddaughter. She can barely talk, but if you tell her to take a picture, she puts on her pose. You know, the little kids pose. They don't really know what to do with their arms, so she kind of poses. But when it's done, what she can say is, let me see. And then she looks at the picture and you say, do you like it? I like it, and then you can keep the picture. She doesn't want to look bad or be caught off guard. She doesn't want to be caught slipping. Our prom dates don't want to be caught slipping. None of us want to be caught slipping. But Hough, what does caught slipping mean? Well, simply caught slipping means that you were caught off guard. There are pictures on all the social networking sites, Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, of people who are caught sleeping by someone that they know. Sometimes they're drooling, they look awkward, they look funny, they may have what people consider an ugly face. They were caught slipping. It's a trending topic. You can go online and search hashtag caught slipping, and you will find thousands of pictures of people caught off guard. But it gets more serious than simple embarrassing pictures of people sleeping. There are athletes, celebrities, musicians, and rappers that have had pictures of them taken by the women they are cheating with at the woman's house and then posted on websites for the world to see. Hashtag caught slipping. And we've all been here in one way or another. You thought that your clothes matched when you were home, and then you got into the sunlight and realized that you didn't match at all. Hashtag caught slipping. You were in a rush and forgot to put on deodorant or brush your teeth, and everybody can smell you. Hashtag caught slipping. The day you put on that shirt that you thought was clean until somebody pointed out a stain. Hashtag caught slipping. You thought your hair looked good until you got home and noticed the back of it looked a mess. Hashtag caught slipping. You're in the choir and you didn't know that the video camera caught you sleeping during the service. Hashtag caught slipping. You got into that horrible relationship. You messed up and your relationship is ending. You find out that you're having an unplanned baby on the way. The hard living caught up to you and you need medical attention. You lost your temper and said some stuff that now you have to answer for. You made a decision without being fully informed and messed things up in your life. Hashtag caught slipping. Let's be real, before we move on in this sermon, people have all made bad life choices and bad spiritual decisions. They're slipping. Yeah, y'all are slipping. We are all slipping at some point in time. The problem is that we don't always know what we are doing wrong and how to stop ourselves from slipping, messing up, and getting caught off guard. But in this text message, my man Peter shows us a few ways that we get caught slipping. We can learn something from Peter. I know, an explanation is necessary. Using my spiritual imagination, I figured that I would talk to the character in the text, as I tend to do from time to time. I said, Peter, what's going on with you? Peter said, I'm good, man. I can't complain. What about you? I said, P, I'm straight. I'm up here preaching about this text message that Matthew sent, chapter 14, verses 22 through 33. P said, right. Well, what do you need to know? I said, I just want to get your story on what happened. Peter said, oh, okay, well, here's what went down. Jesus makes us get into our boat to cross the Sea of Galilee while he goes up into the mountains to pray. Hough, we get caught in a bad storm. Somewhere between 3 and 6 in the morning while we are rowing, and you know we're on boats, so you row backwards. You're not looking where you're going when you're rowing. You're facing the other way. We see something walking on the water coming toward us. We started screaming because we thought it was a ghost. I said, well, what was it? Peter said, dude, tell me why. It was Jesus walking on the water in a storm. I said, what? Peter said, Jesus walking on water in a storm. I said, word? Well, what did he say? He told us to relax. It was just him. Technically, it translates to I am. It says it is I, but it translates to I am, the same I am that God always used in the Old Testament to identify as God. He told him to relax. I am, and I am not a ghost. I said, hey, Jesus, if it's really you, then command me to come to you on the water. He told me to come to him. I said, wow, so what did you do? Peter said, you're not going to believe this, but I hopped out of the boat and started walking on water. I said, you lying. He said, nope, dead serious, I'm telling you the truth. I was walking on water. I said, so what happened after you walked to Jesus? Peter said, well, I didn't exactly make it to Jesus. I said, I'm sorry, what? He said, see, what had happened was the storm was really bad, and I started paying too much attention to my situation than to Jesus. Then I started to sink. But, Hough, before you ask, I cried out for Jesus to save me, and he reached out and grabbed me, and we walked back to the boat together. When he got on the boat, the storm stopped, and everyone knew that Jesus had to be the Son of God. I said, wow, and that whole time Jesus didn't say anything while all of this was happening? I said, well, when he caught me, he said, you of little faith, why did you doubt? I said, I'm sorry, what? He said, Jesus said, oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt? I said, oh, okay. Peter said, don't judge me. I said, I'm not. All right, well, on that note, Peter, I'm going to get at you later. I'll talk to you later. Peter said, no, you're judging me. I said, Peter, no, I'm not. Peter said, yes, you are. I hear how all of y'all church people talk about me, saying that I talk too much and how foolish and hot-headed I am. I said, Peter, nobody's talking about you. Peter said, yes, you are. I busted my behind working to build the church. I walked with Jesus, and now y'all newfangled Christians want to read a couple scriptures and judge me. I said, P, it's not even like that. He said, let me tell you something. My brother Andrew and I were fishermen, and not some dumb low-end fishermen. Fish was a main source of protein at the time. The Gospels didn't even mention meat, just fish. Fresh fish could bring in a lot of money for people who had the money. And for everyone else, we provided salt fish. We ran a business, Hough, me, Andrew, James, and John. We work in partnership to make this money. You can read Luke chapter 5, verse 7 through 10 for that. Hough, we had employees. Just read Mark chapter 1, verse 20. We could start and stop work when we wanted to. My real name was Simon, and my brother's name was Andrew. Those are Greek names, and studies will tell you that it seems likely that we could both speak Aramaic and Greek. That's why the Greeks were asking my boy Philip, who grew up around us, who Jesus was, probably because he could speak Greek. That's in John 12, 20, and 22. Y'all say I talk too much. Man, look, I was a business owner. I was trying to make sure stuff was getting done. I wasn't trying to be foolish. I was trying to be productive. If no one else wanted to say something, then I was going to say something. If no one else wanted to volunteer, then I was going to volunteer. Jesus told us to arm ourselves, so I cut off the ear of the first soldier that touched him. Y'all make fun of me for that. Listen, did I make some mistakes? Sure, but y'all not going to keep talking about me like I'm the center of everybody's jokes. Hough, I hopped off the boat and started walking on water because I wanted to get to Jesus. And y'all start shaking y'all head because I didn't make it all the way to him. Let me see you hop off a boat in the middle of a storm and see what happens. For the record, Hough, I had a lot of faith. I just didn't have enough faith to get through. I said, Peter, I feel you. My fault. Relax. Peter said, no, because you're about to preach a whole sermon about me getting caught slipping. If you want to preach about it, it's going to be on my terms. You're going to preach the points I give you.